as the year goes on, I get closer and closer.
To learn new skills and to build new acumen.
We can always touch. It's not.
When you get that, then you get a lot more excited about being around children.
Normal, in a sense, with all of the changes, of course.
Or how you can transform your own business.
On developing the whole child, socially, emotionally.
Traditional route of teaching young people
how to set boundaries, because this little victim here needs to know how to
do very well, so they use that term.
Sometimes expanded them to go up to 40 minutes.
All of those things in education, of course, those things are important.
Is going to our heads and our lungs.
The affirmations in the mirror for about 2 minutes.
What did you do in order to get yourself going?
This is amazing.
It happens, what seems to happen quite a bit in our school.
For the families to come, and they
is that really for the child, or is it for us, for the parent?
And doing new things for our brain.
Who's orchestrating everything in this universe?
Which parts of the brain are used?
Based on that map that we have.
See you with your smiling face.
Atul, thank you very much for allowing me to join you. Namaste to you, my friends.
Wow. So that was the newest video that Atul made to be grateful to everyone that's in this wonderful group that we are in. Hello, it's Marianne Harmon here with you today. And I have with me a couple of wonderful women. In this group, we have so many talented people. And one of the things is we are also very flexible. And we did have someone else that was supposed to be on today. And unfortunately, she had a death and had to go to a funeral. And we thought, you know, what can we do still on that topic that she was going to speak on? So I had two wonderful women that also love to talk about literacy and music and books and how they all tie together. And so each one of us today is going to take some time with you to talk to you about why we do what we do, why it's so important, and how you can do it and should do it too. So I'm going to take a moment now and welcome Maria Kay. And she's hi, Maria. Tell us where you're from and what you do, etc.
Hi, I'm from the UK. It is absolutely marvellous that we can all be together from different parts of the world. I'm in the UK today. Thank you very much to Marianne for inviting me. I'm totally delighted to join you. I work in Saudi Arabia as a school advisor, and I have a specialism in music and literacy, and a very strong interest in developing children's literacy and using music for that purpose. I'm also the founder of Sounds and Symbols, which you can find on Facebook, and I've produced a literacy pack for practitioners, which we can see up there. I have also brought my friend Humpty to show you today, because he is the mascot for Sounds and Symbols, and he represents the link between language and music.
Very good. Well, thank you. Welcome. We're looking forward to hearing your book and song today. And next we have, I think everybody knows the polka dot lady. So Debbie, tell us a little bit about yourself. I think we all, well, not everybody knows.
No, I'm the best kept secret. I'm Debbie Clement, and I'm in the United States. And today I'm in Wisconsin, up in the northern part of our country near the Great Lakes. I have just finished my 25th year of being a music lady, bringing music into the lives of young children, families, and at the library, school visits, and so forth. I've written and recorded over about 100 original songs, and my real joy and delight is turning some of my song lyrics into the text of traditional picture books. So now I'm the author and illustrator of 3 books that are already hardbound books. People say, oh, they're real books. And I'm working diligently to bring the 4th one to fruition. I'm thrilled to pitch it today and be with these brilliant women. We're in 3 different time zones around the world and excited to share some of our experience with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm Marianne Harmon from Music with Mare, and you see me here a lot. I'm the moderator of this group. Shout out to Atul for putting all of this together, and thanking him for making this group where I've made so many more new friends. I love collecting friends. So I write songs that are based on brain research. I study brain research, and I think, teachers always hear and parents hear that, well, this is the brain research, but they don't get given practical ways to put that brain research into work. So I take it and I put the brain research into songs and sometimes connect them to books. I have almost 500 songs out there. One of them won a John Lennon Songwriting Award, and I'm very happy to share. So a lot of my music is on Spotify and YouTube and Amazon. I could say, hey, Alexa, and hopefully she won't answer me now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a song that everybody seems to know me for. And now I always used to wonder what it was like when, you were a famous singer and every time you went out, you had to sing that same song. I think it gets kind of old. And I'm starting to understand that, because no matter what I do, people are like, do the wide mouth bullfrog. So I'm going to do that today and talk about why it should be used and how it can be used. And ladies, if you ever want to add, just go like this and I'll see you, and I'll turn the screen over to you. Children can only sit still for very short periods of time. Adults can only sit still for 22 minutes before our brains shut down. Our vestibular systems need to keep moving. And for children, it's even more so. So when you are doing a book with them, you want to sometimes give them things that, well, not sometimes, you should all the time, give them something that they have to do with the book, because that keeps their vestibular system awake. So in this book, every time the frog hops away, we take our hand and pretend we're hopping and go hop, hop, hop away. I will tell you, with little kids, you always have to be so mindful of every detail. See Debbie laughing, because I would tell the children, take your hand and pat your thigh and say hop, hop, hop. And I get kids going, ow, ow, this hurts. So you have to say, gently pat your thigh and avoid the word hit your thigh. They just are very literal. Okay, so the wide mouth bullfrog. Now, children love this because it's a pop-up book. And I do have on my Facebook page directions on how you can make up a pop-up frog so that teachers can go get it and make their own. I like to do things where I keep things that teachers can download without it costing them any money. So that is one of them. So we're going to read the wide mouth bullfrog. Now, some tips for teachers. They're like, how do you do that all the time and you don't mess up the pages? Well, I do. I occasionally do. But what I do is I always keep my finger here on the next page, so that when I'm going like this, I'm there and I'm taking my finger and getting it ready for the next page. Of course, you don't see this happening because you're too busy watching the book. And the children don't see it happening. But if you didn't do that, they would see this. Wait. So these are just little tricks of the trade I've learned along the way. Another thing is I like to integrate sign language, as I know Debbie does as well. And you see the worms, and there's the wiggly worm. And that's another way they're going to keep their bodies active during the song. When I get to the mouse, I like to make them squeak, where we go, high-pitched tones energize the brain. That's why children like to make them. It feels good, okay? And I also want to call attention to the fact that they are connected to the animal world, because we are animals, we're mammals, right? And so that they make that connection. And I say, look at this. The mouse has 2 ears for hearing, just like you. All right, so I'm going to do the book now and hopefully not think of something else I didn't say and just do the story for you. So here we go. Everybody mouth as wide as you can. Hi, I'm a wide-mouthed bullfrog. All righty. You ready for this, Maria?
I'm ready.
All right. There once was a wide-mouthed bullfrog, friendly as could be. He liked to hop around and talk to any animal he'd see. He'd say, hi, I'm a wide-mouthed bullfrog, and I eat bugs. Why do you eat? What's next? One day, oh, look at that! It's a blue bird. Blue feathered bird. He hopped along and sang his song. Sing with me. All right, everybody, ready? Hi, I'm a wide-mouthed bullfrog, and I eat bugs. I eat wiggly worms, said the bird. Oh! All right, let's take our hands gently. Hop, hop, hop away. What's next? Next he met a brown mouse. Let's squeak 2 times. He went, the mouse has 2 ears. So do you for hearing. Hi, I'm a wide-mouthed bullfrog, and I eat bugs. I eat seeds and berries, said the mouse. Oh, said the bullfrog, and he hopped, hopped, hopped away. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The frog went to the swamp, saw a gator swimming around. The wide-mouthed frog jumped on a log and he sang to the alligator. Hi, I'm the wide-mouthed bullfrog, and I eat bugs. Uh-oh. What do you think he eats, Maria?
I dread to think. Hopefully not frogs.
Bullfrogs, said the gator, flashing big teeth. Bullfrog pulled his mouth real small and answered back real sweet. You don't see me often around here. And he hopped, hopped, hopped away.
No way.
Everybody throw up your arms and we go like this. Splash!
Oh.
Now, I will tell you one thing.
I just knocked my book off.
One thing I tell teachers is stay in one place, because too many times teachers start going around the room going, can you see? Can you see? If you have one child with attention deficit, you're now a moving target. So stay in one place so that they learn to focus. But that is the story of the wide-mouthed bullfrog and how I use it with the kids. And if you have any comments, Debbie or Maria, feel free.
I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Well, thank you.
The warning is be careful with actions, because I just threw my book away.
What do you mean you threw your book away?
My book is sitting here, and I went like that and threw it off the back of the sofa.
When you were hopping. You got too hoppy. You got way too hoppy. Okay, well, I know that there's a few people on. but I can't see your names. I only see Facebook user. So if you would put your name, like hello from Sana, I'm thinking one of these people must be Sana because she's so
She's
faithful.
here all the time.
She's just a wonderful supporter of all of us in this group. Alrighty, so now we're gonna switch over here. Look, it's Maria.
I'm glad I got my book back.
We went to splash and knock that cat.
Okay, so do you want me to do it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Tell us about it a little bit.
I shall tell you a little bit about this book. I wrote the little story, so it's got my name on it here. And the cat itself, that was drawn by a lady called Katie Larkworthy. And it's actually a picture of her own cat. But her own cat is a cat called Sophie, and it's grey. So we decided to change the colour to marmalade. And he's a very naughty cat, and he's very greedy, and he will eat absolutely anything at all.
Oh, including wide-mouthed bullfrogs.
Oh no!
Quite possibly, if he could catch one. So the idea of this book is to share with children, to help to promote rhyme, to help to promote vocabulary. There's a big long list of how to present the book. And there are 6 verses. I don't think you can probably read this, but I can read the verses to you. So there's verses and then there's chorus in between. So you can join in with the chorus because it's very simple. So it goes, my cat Ben eats all day. He doesn't have much time to play. So you could add action. I've not got enough hands here, but you could add actions or you could add sign language to the book. Also encourage the children to match rhymes. So if you miss out the last word, and encourage them to try to think of a word that fits, okay, that will match and rhyme. So the second verse is, my cat Ben ate a mouse. This is because my husband used to have a cat that used to eat mice. And the verse says, and left bits all around the house. And then we have to go, yuck.
Yuck.
Because that's what the cat did. He was not nice. The next verse is, my cat Ben fills his belly with meat in gravy and fish in jelly. Ew. So yes, and I found that when I do it, the children love doing it, and they remember the verse that comes next, and they remember it much better than me, even though I wrote it. I can't think what comes next, and they tell me, yes, this is the next verse. So as I'm singing, I go, what comes next? And the next one is, my cat Ben ate a leg. If you can see here, it's not a person's leg. But the lady in the window is looking in the window here is looking a little bit worried that it might be her leg. But he ate the table leg. So the table is now on books instead. And then the final verse is my cat Ben, and each verse starts with my cat Ben, so it's easy to start. Chased a train, and then he came back home, and the rhyming helps you to think of the words that are going to be there again. Okay, and so the chorus is, with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a cat a treat, Ben just likes to eat and eat. Again, it's rhyming, so it's like the knick-knack, paddywhack song. So here we go. It's also a colouring book. Sorry, I'm struggling getting this in the middle here. And you can see that Marianne's advice on how to turn pages was absolutely invaluable, because my book is this way up and I will be doing all the things that she said don't do, because I have to turn my pages vertically. Such good advice. Okay, are we ready? Would you like to join in? So we're going to have, this is the first verse, and then knick-knack, paddywhack, give a cat a treat, Ben just likes to eat and eat. And also there's an introduction, if I can find my music now. There's an introduction which has now disappeared, I'm sorry. Okay, there's an introduction at the beginning, so that encourages children to listen and to work out when they have to start singing. Here we go. See if you can join in with me. Oh, sorry.
Listening is just as important as talking.
It's actually disconnected from my speaker. What would you like me to do?
Sing it live.
Just sing it. Just sing it. Okay.
We heard a little bit of it. You want to try again?
Yeah, it hasn't got the speaker on it now. It's gone off over time.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. Can't even get it to play now.
That's okay. You know, and that's another thing that is really great with these kind of talks, because you learn that as a teacher, you just keep going.
Yes, okay, I'll just do it with the, okay, here we go.
The children are not going to leave.
Here we go. Is that loud enough?
It's perfect.
My cat Ben eats all day. He doesn't have much time to play with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a cat a treat. Ben just likes to eat and eat. My cat Ben ate a mouse and left bits all around the house. Yes! With a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a cat a treat. Ben just likes to eat and eat. My cat Ben chased a horse. He didn't catch the horse, of course. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a cat a treat. Ben just likes to eat and eat. You can rub your belly. My cat Ben fills his belly with meat in gravy and fish in jelly. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a cat a treat. Ben just likes to eat and eat. Watch out for your legs. My cat Ben ate a leg. The table's now on books instead. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a cat a treat. Ben just likes to eat and eat. Last verse. My cat Ben chased a train and then he came back home again. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, give a cat a treat. Ben just likes to eat and eat.
Yum!
Yeah!
That's such a fun song.
Yes, yes. It's better if everything works on time. Very sorry, but there we go.
No, you know, that was just fine. It was as Dr. Becky Bailey always taught, when things happen, you think of it as an opportunity to teach. Like, what is this opportunity giving you?
We also talk as well about cats and what they do, and ask if anybody has a cat. If anybody has a cat, what do the cats eat? What do they do? What do they do all day? Do they sleep all day? Do they play with the cat? So I just talk generally about cats, and then maybe about pets as well. And what other pets anybody might have. It's amazing what pets children do have at homes.
And they could make up their own verses. I have a song called "My Fat Cat." Debbie, do you have a cat song?
I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. But I used to have them. And after I got rid of them, it was amazing how what I thought was sinus problems went away.
So
I do have my fat cat. So
it'll be okay now with the masks. You'll be okay now with the masks. You see, maybe you'll be okay. Yeah.
Oh no. I'm not taking the chance there. So thanks, Maria. People feel free to, by people, I mean those of you that are watching and leaving some comments. If you have any questions, please feel free, because now here I am bringing on Debbie.
I'm big. Oh, thank you, Mayor, for having me. It's lovely to pitch in. I'm going to talk about my first picture book, and I keep it. Of course, I do love polka dots, and that was before my devotion to monarch butterflies and their polka dots. But the book is You're Wonderful. Hopefully you can.
Did you write this for me?
I did. For you and Maria. I think you're both
special.
Wonderful. You know, that's my favorite thing when people come up after a conference and they go, Debbie, you're wonderful. You're really what? You're just what? And I'm like, yeah, I wrote the book on it. And sometimes they don't catch on. So it is a song first. The song was really one of my very, very first ever songs. And it comes from a place way back. So if I've been doing this 25 years, maybe 35 years or more, I was a music and art specialist at a preschool for children with special needs. And we had a TheraPlay therapist. So we would hold these little children that might be crack babies or fetal alcohol syndrome or young children who were in the foster care system, perhaps because they'd been removed from their homes due to abuse. And Mary would have us we'd each have a child. So she'd bring in enough adults, maybe there'd be 6 or 8 children in the room. And so there'd be 6 or 8 adults, and we'd each have a kiddo, and we'd sing the ABC song, and tell me what you think of me. And then we'd say, oh, I think you're wonderful. And we would try to bond with this young child who had missed some bonding opportunities. And we looked them in the eye. That was priority number 1, was to make eye contact and as much physical affection as that child could accept. So we might, touch their cheeks or she would rub hand lotion on their hands. Anyhow, but we would say, I think you're wonderful. Oh, I think you're marvelous. You're just the best. Oh, and one day in a dark, dreary, awful part of my life, my husband's a pilot. Anyhow, we took off in the airplane on a rainy day and came to where we are right now. And the sun is literally out. And as we were landing in our little plane of 2 people, we came over these sailboats and beautiful water and just glorious. And I was just like, oh, this is so wonderful. Oh, this is so marvelous. This is just beautiful. Well, anyhow, that reminded me of Mary and working with these young children that had so many needs. And I started scrawling these couple words on the back of an envelope, and it became a song. I think you're wonderful. So let's use some fingers, boys and girls. Teachers, I know we don't have boys and girls today, but I just talk as though the boys and girls are here. So the sign for wonderful in American Sign Language is our hands are up and radiating happiness, and it's the very same sign for marvelous. So wonderful and marvelous. Thanks for playing along, friends. And then beautiful. You draw a circle around your face, and the real key here is to smile. Beautiful. Otherwise, it's kind of comes off like sarcasm to the deaf community. So beautiful. And then magical. So we're doing our magic fingers, and then filled. We go across the top of a measuring cup filled with curiosity. Now, this is our Adam's apple, and we're curious. You know that story from the Old Testament where Adam is curious about.
I didn't know that's where that came from.
Yeah! Oh, yeah, I like to teach friends about new things. Yeah. So for some of us grandmas, this is not a real flattering sign, but that and curiosity is obviously a very big word for 4-year-old children or 5-year-old children. And I really believe that, we teach them by including some larger words that aren't in their day-to-day preschool language, perhaps, and include them as though we expect them to know curiosity. And sure enough, they'll learn about Curious George, perhaps. And then dreams. So you put your finger on your brain where you keep all your ideas, and the dreams come out. Now, I wish I had another set of hands and I could turn the pages in the book, but I made the illustrations out of fabric as small quilts. So I don't know, do you know this? A picture book is typically 32 pages. So I made 16 quilts of fabric, and then that's how I turn. And it turns into a picture book when your sweet husband gets all those quilts scanned. So here's the physical quilt out of fabric that I designed and sewed. And then here is the illustration in the book. This is basically a song between one teacher, one adult, and one child in my mind. I think you're wonderful. I think you're marvelous and beautiful. And then that child says, huh? You think I'm I'm all these things. So the teacher's a happy, bright colors and all the bouncy things. And then the child is just kind of monochromatically going, what? You know, I can't tie my shoes. I can't ride a bike. I can't make you understand me. And sometimes, and the colors are just kind of brown and dingy and you know, dark. Sometimes I'm angry. You can't understand me. Well, and then those words, and so the child thinks, you think I'm wonderful? You think I'm marvelous? But then, because our teachers are persistent, then the child says, well, you're right. I am wonderful. I'm marvelous. You know what? I'm good at Play-Doh. I'm good at sharing. And that child gets to shine. So then the child says to the teacher, I think you're wonderful. So these same 6 words are in each of 6 verses. So repetition. Oh, I was going to show you one more thing while I'm having show and tell here. All right. So here's the illustration in the book, and I showed you the quilt. And one time in 25 years, now the book is, I don't even know how old the book is, maybe 14 years old. I just made that up. I'm not really sure. One time, the kids, where do I go to show you this? The kids voted on their favorite aspect of my book, and they chose this circle with polka dots in the middle and triangles and the happy purple. And look, they made me a quilt.
Wow.
Forever. Is that like the coolest thing? I know I'm not showing this very there. I've got 2 hands, but you get the idea, right?
Fabulous.
So cool. And to me, that's the power of taking a song that they're singing, right? They're not reading. We all know that at 2 and 3, unless you've got some brilliant wonder child, of course, but they're not reading, but they sing that song and they sing about Ben the cat and they sing it and they sing it and they sing it. And then one day, C-A-T, they start saying C-A-T spells cat, C-A-T spells cat, or the wide-mouthed frog. And then suddenly F-R-O-G, I mean, they start to then recognize those hieroglyphics. Those letters really are a connection. And to me, the song is a bridge. Woo! Look at me making that go the right way. A bridge into the reading. So they know the song first as very young children, and then they start to see that type across the page and recognize that they're reading. So we're going to be very repetitious, and we're going to sing about being wonderful. Are you ready? We're going to a happy island. I think you're wonderful. I think you're marvelous. I think you're beautiful and magical and filled with curiosity and dreams.
You think I'm wonderful. You think I'm marvelous. You think I'm beautiful and magical and filled with curiosity and dreams. You're right, I'm wonderful. You're right, I'm marvelous. You're right, I'm beautiful and magical and filled with curiosity and dreams. I think you're wonderful. I think you're marvelous. I think you're beautiful and magical and filled with curiosity and dreams.
You're right, I'm wonderful. I'm an early child.
You're right, I'm marvelous. You're right, I'm beautiful and magical and filled with curiosity and dreams. That means we're wonderful. That means we're marvelous. That means we're beautiful and magical and filled with curiosity and dreams.
Now there's a big ending. I'm big on big endings. We're going to make a pattern. All right, so pat your knees. And we'll okay, here comes the only hard part. Cross the midline. All right, now tap your shoulders. Okay, that's the whole part. And feel the curiosity and and feel the curiosity. You have to pause there, teachers, because they're going and shoulders. Can you do it on your own? And shoulders. Woohoo! All right. So I just remembered. Oh, Mary, I hadn't thought about this in a million years. When you're an author and you are the illustrator and schools, you know, have a budget. They don't always have a budget to bring a music person into schools, but a lot of times they do have a budget to bring in authors. So I have, as an author, gotten to step outside of my early childhood preschool, you know, with 3, 4, 5-year-olds. To me, we would use this now at the beginning. We're at the beginning of our school year here in the United States. And so to establish the tone in the classroom, to give those words of affirmation, I think you're wonderful. I think you're marvelous. So kids start to have that as part of their structure, their bone structure even. Well, anyhow, as an author now, I get to go to big school, like kindergarten and first grade and second grade. And I can remember taking this as my first and only book into Arizona, into a classroom. And the teacher of the second grader said, "And now, boys and girls, we have the author who has written a book about contractions."
Oh, no.
I looked at her and I'm like, "We have an author about contractions." She says, "Yes, you have written the book. You're wonderful." And boys and girls in second grade, that is a contraction. That means we are wonderful. We are wonderful. So that's teaching to the test. They were talking about contractions in second grade, and lo and behold, there's a contraction in the title. So you could call this a book about affirmation and self-esteem, or if you teach very mature children, you can use it as a book for contraction. Oh, I think I probably put a happy exclamation mark on, and I dress like the picture book. Are you wondering why I'm dressed like this? So I make my ensemble, and at the bottom of the picture book are black and white polka dots, which I do love. And at the bottom of my vest are black and white polka dots. Let me back up here. And I'll put the book in my lap. And no kidding, like 5-year-old kids will go, "Oh, wait, you're the book. You're the book. You're the book. The lady, you're the book." So that's why I am exuberantly dressed, because it does help the littles understand that we have ideas, we have dreams. Oh, we're all together now, together. And people have those ideas and write them down. And in Mare's case, make an encyclopedia of music, you know, to span every occasion and every learning experience. And I'm just getting to know about Maria's contribution, but the importance to me with little children is that they have ideas. And that's the reason to learn how to hold a crayon first and scribble wildly, and later refine that fine motor and become able to write their name, which is hard, you know, but if you have that capability to write, and then you can save your ideas, then all kinds of excitement can happen.
Yes, it can. And that's what I believe Maria teaches about literacy. So I don't know if Maria might be frozen.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just.
There you are. There you are.
I hear you.
I think just the picture is frozen, but I can still speak.
Yes, you can. Is there something you'd like to say as we're ending up here?
I most certainly would. I enjoyed that, Debbie. It was absolutely fantastic, and I think your clothes are just absolutely amazing, and your book is so unique. I think it's just fabulous. I love all your colours. The only thing I was going to say about why we should be doing music and literacy together are because, as Marianne suggested, it helps vocabulary, it helps our productive vocabulary, the vocabulary that children use, and like extending vocabulary, and also it helps children with the vocabulary, receptive vocabulary, the vocabulary that they can understand. So things that they hear, but they don't necessarily use that vocabulary. Also, so you've got it helps fluency, and it helps speech. As children are singing, the music just rolls you along, so you have to keep speaking fluently. Also, Marianne mentioned cognitive skills in the brain, and also singing helps memory. So it helps you the thought and the idea of the song and the music helps you to think about what a word is. You know, sometimes if you can sing something, you go, oh yeah, that's what that word was that was in the middle of the song I couldn't think of. And it helps sequencing, and it helps children to focus, which is one of the main things for little children. I know Marianne said at the beginning, they don't focus for very long at all. But when you're doing music and songs and rhymes and stories, then actually they can focus for much, much longer. You know, I was once told they can only focus for a couple of minutes. But actually, if they're doing something like this, you'll find they just sit there and carry on and join in. And if they're interested, which obviously this is interesting, then they just carry on. Also, music is confidence giving because they can join in and they can do it, and they're not necessarily put on the spot. They can do it along with everybody else and join in at their own pace, if you like. So there are so many things, yeah. And even with actions, just the fact that you're moving stimulates the brain, you're back to the brain again. And as Marianne said at the beginning, it just brings it all together. So it's just the most magnificent thing to do.
It is.
Thank you very much for inviting me today. I'm sorry I can't wave. I'm waving though. I am waving.
You know, the other thing too is, as I said I study the brain research, and I have a book coming out in summer 2022 called Building Brains with Music, where we tie all of this together in one book. And one thing is that when you are singing together, so when you have a group of children and you have a book and it's something we're all focused on and we're singing together, our brains, we all bond. So our brains produce oxytocin, which makes us feel a sense of belonging, and it produces serotonin and endorphins. So all these wonderful things are happening. And so it is very hard to be angry when you are singing, you know, unless you're John Lennon and you have some points you want to make, or Bob Dylan back in the day, right? But for the most part, it's cohesiveness. So we need this in our schools. We need this in our lives. Parents should know that you don't wait till you send them to school and let them do their singing there. My sister used to teach me harmony for the songs at church while I dried the dishes and she washed, you know? So it should be a part of family life. Books should always be around, books of all ethnicities, colors, etc. And so we're going to close up. Debbie, you want to give your final goodbyes here? And
well, I think
like about 2 minutes, Deb.
Okay. Music is just so full of patterns. And you know, it helps with the anticipation, as Maria has already talked about what comes next, the scaffolding, but the patterns which help us with math eventually. And so you can sing, you know, put your socks on, here we go, you know, just to put some kind of a bip bop boop melody. And again, that's going to engage the brain, get that child moving, help you get out the door on time. As a parent, use music as one of the tools in your toolkit to help your day as parenting goes smoothly.
Yes, good. And thank you, Debbie. I know that you have company visiting.
We do have company.
And I hope that person was watching you and saying, yep, that's my friend. Maria, I know we can't see you move, but we can see your face.
It's okay. I'm waving. I'm still waving.
So I want to thank you for your time. Let's not be this be the only time we work together.
Okay, I love it. I
Yeah,
have a passport,
absolutely.
So I can come to Saudi Arabia, where I've never.
Oh
been
yeah, come on.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor, for orchestrating this and including all of us and pulling it together. You do a masterful job, and we're all thrilled to know you.
Thank you. Thank you. And
a tool out there on vacation. You know, we're just grateful that you've brought us all together.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. We will be back again next week. And Maria, maybe if you have a Thursday morning that you can come on and share one of
I will
your
find one.
songs.
I will find one just for
We'd
you.
Love to have you.